how you doing? Barbecuing, son of a gun from Arizona. Mad Coyote, yippee-yi-yote, Mad Coyote Joe.
Hey everybody, Coyote Joe here. All right, on today's show, yes, I'm live in the jacuzzi because I'm going to be cooking out back. Nothing says out back like the jacuzzi. Anyway, on today's show, we're going to show you 3 simple things. The first thing is we're going to show you how to make a barbecue rub that you can use on anything, and it's a fantastic spice just to have around the house. You don't have to have the exact right ingredients. Whatever you have will work. We're also going to show you how to fire roast green chilies, and we're going to show you how to cook ribs. Stick around. We're going to have some fun. This is a basic 4-to-1 rub, okay? So there will be 4 times as much sugar in this as there is salt. Now, if you don't have brown sugar, that's what I'm using. It's a nice flavor blender. You can use white. You can use a combination of white or brown. You can use monk fruit sugar, and you can try some sugar substitutes if you want. And if you don't have any sugar at all, but you have honey, you can make this with honey. It'll be a little odd to get on the ribs, but you can still rub it and it'll be fine. So we're starting out with our brown sugar. We have 1/4 as much kosher salt. Now, when you're using salt, this is a very large grain salt. It's nice for roasting. If you have to use table salt, cut it way, way down, because the smaller the granule of the salt, the saltier it will taste. And this will impart a nice roasted flavor without being overly salted. To that, we're going to add some black pepper, same amount as we have of our salt. Now we've got about 3 times as much chili powder. Let's talk about chili powder now. The only thing I had in my house was ancho chili powder. If you're not going to do this on a charcoal grill that has some mesquite in it or some sort of wood flavor, if you're doing it on a gas grill, you can add in smoked paprika, or if you got chipotle powder or any smoked chili flavor. And any chili that you have will do the job. I'm using ancho. You can use paprika. You can use mild New Mexico red. It doesn't matter. So this is our basic rub. The proportions don't have to be exact. As you make it, you may go, well, I didn't need all that sugar in there. Or you may go, I'd like a stronger chili flavor. Just add a little more, take some notes. Once you get it all mixed up, this rub will be fabulous on beef, chicken, even on fish. It's great on pork, really, really wonderful on pork. Now at this point, for myself, I like to add a little bit of Mexican oregano, and I use granulated garlic. If you've got minced garlic, garlic powder, I don't care what you have right now. If you want to add some garlic, add it in to your taste. I'm using about a third as much garlic and about 1/3 as much oregano as I'm using salt and pepper. All right, there's our basic rub. All right, now that we've got our rub done, let's talk about pork a little bit. When I went in the store the other day, the only thing they had left was sausage and pork ribs, so I grabbed some. Now, maybe you've got a pork roast, and this will work on any pork, pork loin, pork shoulder, whatever you've got. But I've got ribs, so let's just get them going. Now we're going to take some of our rub. You'll notice here that I've put down a little bit of saran wrap or plastic wrap down on a baking sheet, which is better to work with. I do the back side first because the back side really doesn't impart as much flavor, but I like the color and there's a little taste in it. It's kind of nice. And remember, don't use your whole bowl of rub, put your hands on the pork and put it back in. Just pull a little bit out. And this is also fabulous on chicken. And if you've got some left over and you've got your grill lit or you've heated up your oven, you might as well roast a little chicken or a little beef or whatever you've got laying around. Okay, I'm just gonna tap this on here. I'm not really gonna rub it in hard. Now, a lot of folks really insist on rubbing the meat in. What I do is this process where I just get it tamped onto it, because in both cases, what you're looking for is to get the flavor driven into the meat. Now, you can do this and omit the next step. You can just go like this right here, tap this on here like this. This will be just fine. You will love it. They'll be fantastic ribs. You won't believe how good they are. And sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I do that. But if I've got the time, this is the next step for me. I take and get enough plastic wrap, if I can do this. Let me see, where's that cutter? Right there. Okay, come off there. I'm gonna pull this up like this and wrap over here. And I'm gonna wrap like this and just wrap it up just like it's in a little envelope. And what'll happen is, if you let this sit in the refrigerator, when you come back, all of this will have melted in. They say that the sugar works as a vehicle to penetrate the meat, and it drags the salt and other flavors in, and the sugar helps to caramelize. So just like that, just like that. All right, I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. Now, I'm only gonna pop it in for 20 or 30 minutes. It really is best overnight. That's centered there. What I'm gonna try to do is show this to you before my iPhone melts. All right, if you look at the ribs right now, you can see that they're all wet and gooey. That's because the rub has just worked its way into the meat. I take that off and set it right on the grill, off of the flame, indirectly is what we're looking for. Now, while that's starting to cook, we're also going to start roasting, while that's cooking, we're going to start roasting our green chilies. These right here are long Anaheim green chilies. You've seen them before. We're going to pour a bunch on the grill. And we're going to just cook them until they're nice and blistered on the outside. Let me move this ahead. Wait a second. I thought I saw a bad one in there. Where was it? Here it is. Wait, for old time's sake. All right, I'm throwing food. Good, people asked about that. All right, this is right here. We're going to take and keep an eye on these chilies. And as soon as they're all the way cooked, we're going to put them back in the plastic bag that we got at the store. And we're going to take and throw them on the counter and let them just steam. But we want them nice and dark brown on both sides. The pork will cook indirectly. This is a baby back rib, so it can be cooked a little faster, a little higher temp. If you're using spare ribs, pull it further off the heat. Low and slow is the rule for spare ribs, but baby back ribs can cook. These will cook probably in about, an hour, hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Once our chilies look nice and brown like this, you're going to take them and put them back in the plastic bag, bring them inside, and they'll look like this. They're going to sit for about 20 minutes, and all that heat from the grill stays in the bag. You can see steam all over the bag. And I was taught how to do this down in Mexico, and it works so good. And if you're funny about this bag, use a Ziploc bag. You can also put them in a bowl and put plastic over the top of it. But at this point, you're just going to grab a chili, and if you look, the skin just wants to come off. And if you're doing bunches of these, one, you can wear gloves. I'm used to the heat, but if the chili's really, really hot, your fingers will get really, really hot. But just like that. See? And then we'll just take and peel all these. And this is one of my favorite side dishes. We love a baked potato, a mesquite grilled steak, and some green chilies. It's also wonderful with fire roasted corn. All right, well, let's recap. With the BBQ Rub, it's a basic 4-to-1 rub. You can use any chilies you have and add your own flavors. And remember, if it's too sweet or too salty, just adjust the salt or the sugar. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's fantastic on any protein. It's also great in beans. It's good on tofu if you're a grilled tofu person. It's also wonderful in other dishes like rice and whatever. It's a great spice to have around. And with the ribs, remember, you don't have to cook these outside. If you've got a charcoal grill, I love that flavor. If you've got a gas grill, cook indirectly. And if you're going to cook it inside your oven at home, I would cook it at about 350, and I would start looking at them at about 1 hour. You can turn them now and then just to make sure they're not sticking. And just make sure they tighten up and the bone protrudes out just a little bit. Hey, well, thanks for stopping by, and I want to thank all of you who've been putting comments on my Facebook page. I've been trying to send you all the recipes I can. If there's something I can cook for you or that you think everybody might like, please let us know. Thanks for stopping by, and once again, you can do this, and let's all stay home, be safe, and take care of our families. I'll see you next time.
Oh, he's a how you doing barbecuing son of a gun from Arizona, Mad Coyote, Yippee-Coyote, Mad Coyote Joe.
Then gently tap the grill to get the ashes off. That'll get rid of some frustration.